Hey everybody, it is March the 14th at about 10 to 1. I am going to be working on more of the live edge end tables and coffee table. I have the tops here, and I've put a line all through them. We're going to at least get those cut down on the table saw, and then maybe even further. We got to plane them as well too, and then we are gonna get those sanded down with the orbital sander today. All right, so I'm gonna have to put you guys down in a couple of different spots. So down there's my table saw, and there's my planer. So I will put you guys right there. Okay. Get my coffee here out of the way. It is going to get a bit loud in here. So it's closed up a bit. So that don't get all that brightness in here. I'm going to be, I've got a hose to my orbital sander down there, to my shop vac, to help with the dust and stuff like that. So they've been sitting in my shed here in the warmth. I don't know if you can see up here. It's started to crack, which is a good thing. That's what I'm wanting for this particular work. So yeah, I normally have it so it's like this on the table, and then get the shop vac going here. And I get the sander going. Now the reason why I didn't sand here, oops, oh well, is because that's the top. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but there's spots now that are lighter. It's because I scratched off the shiny part of the cedar. Now this one's I got into these things here all around, and then on the bottom I've got it so that it's rounded, so that when you slide it like this on the floor, right, it doesn't catch as much as it would here on the top. So this one's ready for hand sanding, and then in the house, but I'm gonna be not doing that right away. I'm gonna be gluing it together with the tops, and then putting it all together and letting it sit for a while before I do a final sanding and like a hand sanding. And I can do a lot of different sealants to it. I gotta seal it up, but I can stain it. I can use a diluted latex paint on it to give it a rustic look. Whatever I so choose to, when I can afford to go and get the sealant and stuff like that I want for it. So we'll just put this off to the side here for now and get to the other ones. Now you don't always want the sander flat. You got to work the edge into some of these grooves and stuff when you're doing this sanding. And you got to make it so that it's not so that it's got some certain looking edges on the bottom there. You got to make sure it's nice and rounded when you're doing it. Okay, this one's done. So put it over to here. I'm gonna get the other two legs back, sanded down, and then all of them brought into the house. And when I start doing the table sawing, I will bring you back. Okay, I'm back. Got those four legs in the house. I just cut the longer tabletop to see how I need to cut it. It gave me a little bit of trouble, but not too much. The one thing about this rustic wood is when you're running it through machines, it can act funny. So when you're using the table saw or the chop saw, when I'm using the table saw and my chop saw, they got no safety guards on them. Please keep in mind, I have been woodworking. I am 42, and I first started woodworking when I was in high school in grade 9. But still, nevertheless, I have to use caution when I am using these tools. But that experience is a good thing for me. So please, if you are relatively new to using chop saws and all these different types of saws, please use caution and leave the safety guards on until you become accustomed to cutting this wood. Okay. And because you can lose a hand or a finger or be severely injured. Now, in knowing this, the first and foremost thing that you need to for safety is you need a pair of glasses. I do have reading glasses. They'll work just as fine, but keep in mind they can break because they are glass. I've got plastic safety glasses here. They're a little more durable than your regular reading glasses. It just prevents stuff getting into your eye. I've had stuff get into my eye once just out of idiocy, or being in a particular position of cutting stuff or welding or stuff like that, or grinding. But when I am using the table saw and the chop saw, I tend to use the goggles. My table saw has no safety guard, so uh, I will get this up and going. It's going to get a little loud in here. Now, you see I got the lines in here, just the one line because I'm going to be cutting it in half so that I can run it through my planer, because it needs to be planed, first and foremostly, because at the two edges here it's at 2 inches, and in the middle here it goes to 2.5 inches, so I've got to plane it down. No, this is a smaller one. The one I cut in half, if I still had it, so it's 2.5 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. So I have to run it through the planer. But you notice I've got a crack here in the middle, because this is one piece of a tree slab, and it's about 20 inches roughly across. So the other reason why I'm cutting it in half, which I don't have to, but because I'm running it through the planer, is the rings here, they all go like this, and or they go, yeah, they go this way, and that's why it's cracked in the middle. So I want to get that crack out as best as I can in the middle, because that's the weakest point there. So okay, now all right, this one put back. I always put the blade down, but sometimes I do leave this plugged in. That is another good safety tip. And another thing you don't want to be doing when you're using some of these tools is wearing loose clothing. You know, because the looser it is, the more of a risk you run. Um, Having it catch on the table saw, especially with no guard. um, Now, for all intents of purposes, what I would normally do, okay, because the rings are the same, and I want to keep them everything the same way. Uh, because I'm going to be putting biscuit joints in the middle, biscuits, when I go to re-glue these together. So what I would normally do for a live edge thing, because I don't want to be using, because there's this groove in here, and so I don't want to be sawing both edges down. So what I would normally do is take this one and flip it over, and the rings would be running the opposite way to help prevent it from warping. But I'm going to be taking some angle iron to it. I don't know if I've got any in here. I've got some somewhere, and it's basically your L-shape metal. And I'm going to be, I could also, if I really, really wanted to, router it, use my router with a particular bit, and run something here, like one here, and then one over here, and have the L, part of the L go in that router mark, and have it so that the other part of the L mark is flushed down with some holes, and screw it down after I've glued it, and that will help prevent it from warping. I may have to do that. I am not 100% sure yet. So we're going to go to the planing now. So I'll be back when I get that set up. Alright, I'm back. Now the biggest thing with this, okay, is you have to measure the most. You got to keep it the whole board, because I've cut it in half. Okay, going the same way. So however you pick up the first board, that's how you got to pick up the second board. And then, because this is the side I cut here, it's easier to get a measurement, and you measure, right? So along the whole board to find your most thickest part. So we got 2 inches there, 2 3/4 in the middle, and then 2 1/4 here. So I want to bring this down to 2 inches. So then the next thing here is this thing right here. One way raises the blades, one way lowers the blades. And then on this side here, there's a little tape measure and a thing here, but I don't rely on that because it's faded. Secondly, I just go by the red line here. And then you just measure it, and then you start with the machine. So I got it set just under 2 3 quarters. Okay. Just double check everything always. Yeah, it's sitting under just under 2 3/4, and that's where I'm going to start it. It's going to get loud in here. And then you do it on the other side. Always give it a turn and a half, roughly, or two. Alright, when I get these down to 2 inches, because I'm going to be a little bit, I will have you back. Okay, I'm back. Now, I got pencil marks here, and this is the coffee table, and then I got my two end tables there, and they got some pencil marks too. And I'm going to show you why. And it's for gluing purposes. Now, this particular tool is for making what you need to make in the sides here, and this side for doing biscuits, to make it a biscuit joint. Now, there we go. That has just made it so that it goes in nice and square to the edge, because this thing, that's now sticking out, it will do angles as well too. And then I will be doing this. The depth of it will be going halfway down. So this is 2 inches now. And the other ones are 2 1/4. And so I will be doing it down about 1 inch down from the top. Okay? From this surface here. So that when I do this, there's a little mark here where I want to line it up. And there it is. Okay, then I flip this one over, I bring this one over to here, and then I do the same thing on this side. Let's line it up. Alright, then I flip this one here over, and then okay, I have to do it like this. You got to remember always how this always goes. That's the biggest thing. I will make another line there, another line there, another line there, and another line there. Okay, and this is going to be the bottom. Okay, so at one end I'm going to mark it with a B on both sides, on both boards, so that I can tell that this end here and it's the bottom. Alright, now I'm going to show you this edge here. Okay, that's what it looks like. And then I've got a piece. Now the other board will look the same on that edge. And I've got pieces that will fit in there when I glue them back together. I will finish doing this stage to all the boards, and I'll have you back again because I'm going to get these sanded down one more time. Okay, I'm back. I have sanded down the other two end tables, tops there. They're in the house now, but I'm going to show you at the coffee table top here how I sanded them down. Now, this here is the gluing edge. I sand that down. I sand all the edges down, the top and the bottom down, and then the two ends and the live edge ends I round on these edges here, along this whole edge on the top and the bottom. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you get stuff in your eyes, but if get you guys over here for a minute, see here, uh, okay, that there, over here, okay, that can give you some slivers and right over to there too. So when I rub my hand here, okay, I want it so that I can't catch any slivers here along the slide edge now. Okay. Now keep in mind this is only a rough sanding. It's 100 grit. And I did that to the legs as well too. Because then I'm going to have to glue this together on the tops especially, and then re-sand it after I've glued it together and did the wood filling. So this is just a rough sanding, and this edge here that I sanded, this is the bottom. You want to do the bottom first, because then when you go to do the top, the bottom will get marked up, and you won't see the bottom, right? So you'll see the top. So this top is usually the last thing you want to do for the rough sanding. So I still got this is still a sharp edge on this side. So I still got, because it's 90, not it's not rounded. So I got to do it here and that. So got to get that done. Now this is the gluing edge. You don't want to round those edges. You just want to scuff it up a bit. Just the edge here, the top edge from the saw blade. Now it's the rounding the edges. around the corner and this here for the gluing edge, but to the live edge you do. Okay, to the next one. This is the bottom side. This is the live edge side. This is the gluing side. Sometimes you gotta pick some of the funky stuff off. That's on the live edge side. This is the gluing side. Just want to scuff it up with the sandpaper. This is a pretty bad edge, live edge, but it's coming. Always make sure you get rid of all the pencil marks in your rough sanding. Sometimes I get nails with my planer blades. You want to try to get them out as much as possible too. The edge here is, I'll show you when I'm done. When you slide your hand, it's the same thing as the live edge and all the edges. So that's a nice, there we go. All right. All right, down here at this edge, okay, you want to be able to do this, all right? So, like having your hand do this on the live edge there. Now the next time Yeah, this gets a little dusty. But yeah, the next time you see me, when I go to work on this, we'll be gluing and wood filling the tops, the coffee table tops here, and the end table tops, because it will need a little bit of wood filling, and I gotta glue them back together with the biscuits. I'll see you then.